Et tous, j'espère que vous allez très bien aujourd'hui. Nous voilà, nous allons commencer avec les pronoms démonstratifs or demonstrative pronouns. This is not going to be a difficult concept for you. You have actually already seen them and used them in some of the work that you've done. So it's just going to be putting one of those puzzle pieces together. Okay, so what is a demonstrative pronoun? In French, celui, this, or the one, and I'll explain the difference in just a little bit. Ce, those, and you can see this is the masculine and the masculine plural. And so really the demonstrative pronouns, whether it's masculine or feminine, is always going to be this or the one and those, okay, or these. Celle, this, the one, and celle, those. And they can mean these as well, but I'm going to show you specifically how to do that. So they mean the same thing, it's just that you have your feminine forms, your masculine forms, and your plural forms, okay? Celui is masculine, celle, feminine, ce, and celle, masculine, feminine. Feminine is usually pretty easy to spot because it's got some form of ELLE or ETTE, things like that in it. All right, so when do you use one? When do you use the other one? Well, you refer back to the noun in the sentence. So whatever noun we're replacing, if the noun is masculine, you'll use celui or ce. If the noun is feminine, celle or celle. Of course, it's the same pronunciation even though there's an S there. Si or la is going to help us determine if it's these or those. Okay, so normally they're followed by si or la, the forms of celui or ce, celle and celle. The ceci would be these here. So the si is indicating something that's in close proximity to you, whereas the la, that one there, la tends to be something that's further away from you. So you might say, if you think about it, the LA with that little accent going down the stairs, one of the only times, I think maybe the only time in French that you actually have that accent on that A. This is the word by itself, la means over there with the accent. Now, without the accent, obviously la is the, but if you have the accent, you can say, oh, c'est là-bas, or c'est, c'est où, là, there. Okay, so la with the accent on it means there. So if you think about that, you can think, okay, if I say celle-là, then it's one that's over there, whereas celle-ci, here it's next to me. C is next to me. Okay, so some examples. Voulez-vous acheter des baguettes? Do you want to buy some baguettes? Oui, je voudrais celles-là. I would like those there because you're picky and those over there look fresh or they look wonderful and you want those specific ones. So oui, oui, je voudrais celle-là. Okay, let's give you some additional examples. Je voudrais, and this is kind of like an ongoing dialogue, if you will. Je voudrais un livre. I would like a book. Voulez-vous celui-ci ou celui-là? Do you want this one here or do you want that one over there? Je voudrais celui-là. I want the one there. I want the one that's over there. Nous voulons louer une voiture. We would like to rent a car. Voulez-vous celle-ci ou celle-là? If you ever go to the rental places and they're always upgrading you because they have plenty of cars and they're trying to be nice. And so they stand next to the one you actually rented and then they point to a different one and say, oh, do you want this one or do you want that one? Nous voulons celle-ci. We want this one here. That other one we don't want. Okay, so very simple way of using celui or celle. They can also be used in relative clauses. So very simple, sounds fancy, but it's not. Celui qui arrive 30 minutes après le film ne rentre pas dans la salle. Ou ne rentre pas la salle. So the one who arrives 30 minutes after the film will not enter or cannot enter, doesn't enter, however you want to say it. Okay, so it's, you don't really have to think about, well, is it a direct object, indirect? Just think of it, the one that, or the one who. Okay? Celui qui porte, oh, pardon me, celle qui porte la plus belle robe gagnera le prix. The one who wears the most beautiful dress wins the prize, or will win the prize in this case. Of course, whether you use celui or celle is going to depend. Remember that celui as the masculine form is always going to be your go-to if it's a generalized statement or it's mixed company. Celle is going to be specifically for females unless you're talking about objects, in which case it would depend on whether the object is masculine or feminine. Ceux que j'ai vus au concert étaient fous. The ones that I saw at the concert were crazy. So those that I saw. And again, if it was only females, it'd be celles. But ceux is normal because most of the time you don't have just one gender at a concert. You will notice that VUS, vu, VU, is the past participle of the verb voir, which is to see. But you have your direct object preceding, okay, your past participle here. So that one is a little bit different from the other ones. The other ones, the celui and the celle, are the subject there. And so again, we're hearkening back to the lesson we had on qui and que, where qui replaces a subject and que replaces a direct object. And if we go back a little bit further and we look at the passé composé, you remember that if you have a direct object pronoun and it precedes your past participle, the past participle agrees with the direct object pronoun. Okay? So in this case, ceux que j'ai vus, the ones that I saw, you say, I saw those people, right? I saw those people at the concert and they were crazy. So I saw those people is your direct object. And that direct object is now preceding that past participle. Now, if your brain snapped over that, remember why you're taking a language. If you're taking a language to become a French teacher or to become Molière and write novels, or if you just want to speak the language. So I would not become overly excited about it, but I do want you to notice why there is an S on vu. Okay, so ce que j'ai vu au concert était fou. When we're talking about possession, we're not talking about the exorcist. We are talking about how to say I own something or that is mine. Even if you don't own it, that's mine, because you could say that's my mother and you don't own your mother, but that's my mother. So that's a possessive, what would you call it, sentence, okay? So if I say that cat belongs to my mother, my mom owns the cat, or that is my mother. Well, the thing is, in French, you don't say my mother's cat. You say the cat of my mother. Okay, the idea of having mother and putting the apostrophe in S does not exist in French. We can't use that. So what you would say is the cat of my mother, or the car of my brother. Now, if you want to say my car, it's ma voiture. If you want to say his car, it's sa voiture. But oftentimes when we begin a conversation, we don't know who we're talking about, right? I wouldn't just walk up to you and say, hi, my name's Rachel. That's his car, right? So you want to make sure everybody knows what you're talking about before you switch into that we all know the basics, now I can move on to something else mode. So in this case, you would say, that's the car of my neighbor. Can you park your car over there? Okay, so because I say all of that to say that in French, you always say the object of something, someone. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Quel film? Well, and let me just give you a sentence really quickly just to refresh your memory. I mean, I know you already know this, but just to say, it would be for instance, the car of my mother, so la voiture de ma mère, or the table of my family, la table de ma famille. That'd be my family's table would be the table of my family, la table de ma famille. Okay, so in this case, we're going to see how we use the demonstrative pronouns with the possessives. Okay, so quel film veux-tu voir? Which films do you want to see? Je veux voir ceux de l'action et d'amour. I want to see the ones of action and of love. Okay. Quelles sont tes tartes favorites? What are your favorite pies? Mes favorites, my favorites, sont celles de Madame Gagnon. My favorites are those of Madame Gagnon. Quel est le livre qu'il a écrit? What is the book that he wrote? Now, I just want to point something out to you to harken back to what I just said about the direct object pronouns that precede the past participle. Remember, écrit is the verb écrire, and this is in the passé composé because it's il a écrit. He wrote. Well, livre precedes écrit. So were this plural or were this feminine, we would have something on écrit. Because it's masculine, we don't. All right, so quel est le livre qu'il a écrit? Il a écrit celui dans la fenêtre. He wrote the one in the window. Quelle est la voiture que tu as achetée? Here you go. Here's that direct object pronoun, or that direct object in this case, that precedes the past participle. Quelle est la voiture que tu as achetée? You could say tu as acheté quelle voiture? And in which case, because that would come after, you wouldn't have that agreement. But because it goes before, la voiture is our direct object and it precedes acheter, so we have to add that E. So I remind you of this often, not because I'm trying to make your head explode, but because with overtime repetition, you will remember it. J'ai acheté celle devant le garage. Quelle est la voiture que tu as achetée? J'ai acheté celle devant le garage. I bought the one in front of the garage. You can see how similar this is to English in many ways. Okay, my favorites are those of. He wrote the one in. I bought the one in front. Okay, so I think I want to see the ones of action and love is not something we would say in English, but it does give you an idea of how that possession works in French. Okay, just keeping in mind that as we move from English to French, a lot of this has some similarities to the way we would say things, and we want to focus in on that so we can get the basics and we'll work with the exceptions later. Ok, j'espère que ça vous a aidé. Si vous avez des questions, laissez-moi savoir. Hope this helped, guys. Let me know if you have questions. Au revoir.